Hey folks, welcome back. Alright, so this thing literally just fell on me. I had it. It was in the perfect spot. It wasn't blocking my link shirt. It was perfect. And then it wasn't perfect. And it fell on me. Oh, there it goes again. See? This is going to be a problem. So maybe what I should do is line it up here. See, it's always hard because it's like looking in the mirror. You know, you turn this way, it's the wrong way. See, I did it again. Okay, we need to go right about there. Okay, right about there. Let's see if I can mash it down into the couch. Think we got it. Alright, now we can stream. So folks, welcome to the stream. Hope you guys are having an awesome weekend so far. It's getting awful late here on Saturday. I'm actually a little bit early. Go me. It's not normal. It's not like me to be early. If anything, I'm running a little late because of, you know, me versus technology in my 50s. So, yeah, early is good. Now, before I actually get into things, of course, I'll do a quick sound. And what is this thing doing? Here we go again. Me versus the mic. Okay, that's good to go. Testing, testing. All right, yeah, a little bit of a delay there, but it's definitely hot. All right, folks, if you wouldn't mind taking a moment to like, share, subscribe, and comment, that is always appreciated. And just to show you what we're getting into today. So I went ahead and got a little bit ahead. I didn't do anything, you know, super exciting. I kind of loaded up my inventory here, pre-crafted a few things. Why? Because we are building the Cyclops. So I hesitate to say should already have everything in my inventory that we're going to need to do that. We're going to have to craft some advanced, you know, electronics in order to make that happen, and that's perfectly fine. Not to mention, I think more enameled glass, but we'll come to that. And then, guys, after I get the Cyclops built, it's going to be game on for the Aurora. And lots to do in the Aurora. It's a big part of the storyline. Lots of loot in there. Of course, we have to have our radiation protection donned, so make sure that we do that before we depart. Definitely going to be a high radiation area. Now, guys, a couple of other like pre-notes. If you want, you can bring the propulsion cannon. In fact, I might craft one before I go out there just to show you guys. Like, there's kind of like a back doorway in, but you need the propulsion cannon to like move some crates out of your way so you can actually access that entrance. But you don't have to do that. There's a way in, you know, where you don't have to do all that. You don't even have to bring the propulsion cannon. The reason I normally, you know, just when I'm playing for myself, the reason I normally don't like to bring it, guys, inventory. The thing's big. It takes up inventory. So that's just not for me. Now, speaking of taking up inventory, I'm going to dump this mask because we will not be needing the rebreather in the Aurora. So if there's anything else you can get rid of, maybe habitat builder. I'm going to keep the habitat builder, actually, and the mask because, you know, we're going to build our... we're going to be building our Cyclops. So, yeah, I'll be bringing stuff, you know, put it in a locker on the sub, and then we'll actually have it when we go raid the Aurora. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and get my image out of the picture. Just in case I forgot to say it, before I get into gameplay here, if you wouldn't mind taking a moment to like, share, subscribe, and comment, that is always appreciated. And actually, I already said it, so sorry you had to hear that twice. Alright, and because it is such a beautiful game, toodles! I'll definitely keep my picture out of our way. Alright guys, I'm definitely looking forward to this. Been waiting for this. Okay, we actually got the last of our Cyclops scans, so what I'm going to do now is just kind of go down and show you the blueprint for it. And it's down here a bit. There it is, right there. So advanced wiring kit, there's a little bit to that. I've already got some lubricant crafted from, you know, those big yellow glowing orbs in the kelp biome. So yeah, I crafted some of that into lubricant. The enameled glass, I'm ready to rock and roll with that. I've already got the mats. The main thing on that is the stalker tooth. So if you have a scanner room built, just go search for your stalker tooth, you know, out near the green biome, and they should start lighting up for you. And then the plasteel, guys, I should have all the titanium, the titanium ingots and the what is that called? Lithium for the plasteel ingot. Okay, so I'll go ahead and get those crafted. Those will be first on the docket. It takes a second. That one takes a second to cook. And once we got those in the bank, let's go ahead and start working on the enameled glass. Now, I already had one pre-crafted, so I should basically have 2 stalker tooth and 2 glass in my inventory to get that total number up to 3. Just to make sure I did that right. Okay, we got 3 enameled glass, because again, I already had one pre-crafted. I got the 3 ingots, good to go. Now you might be wondering what all this is for. I'm getting to that. Guys, the that advanced wiring kit, it's demanding. There's a lot to that. You know, the computer chip, that already takes a little bit to make. You know, the gold copper wire, the table coral. Ouch. So, you know, the computer chip is already kind of getting a little bit expensive. But then it also wants a freaking wiring kit, so ouch on the silver. So yeah, again, a lot goes into that advanced wiring kit. It's essentially the former 2, you know, plus 2 more gold. So it just really starts taking it out of you when you start crafting a bunch of things with that. And guys, one of the things that comes to mind is for the Cyclops, it's going to use the big batteries. So likewise, we're going to put down the big battery chargers, and that takes the advanced wiring kit. So at some point, I'm going to be crafting a lot of those. So you can already imagine the demand for gold and silver and copper just, you know, going away. It's going to go away fast. All right, guys, let me open that blueprint one more time, just to make sure we got everything a rocking and a rolling. Booyah, baby. All right, so of course, you might be wondering, well, how exactly do we craft the Cyclops? Mobile vehicle bay, the exact same way we crafted our sea moth, and it's going to be the exact same way we craft our prawn suit when the time comes. And guys, that's part of why I'm going to the Aurora. Lots of prawn suit scans there. And I've already got the drill arm ready to rock and roll, so yeah, good to go. Oh, now you got to be aware, you need deep water.
Cannot build here. Must be constructed.
Okay, see, we're not quite deep enough. So if you kind of run into this issue like I just did, go ahead and, you know, pack that up from the side there. It should give you a prompt to do that. And we're going to have to go out just a little bit deeper here. Reason being is it's going to build it up in the air and it's going to drop it into the ocean. So, like, you need clearance there for, you know, that drop. And to deploy, we're going to have to actually hotkey that. And once you have it highlighted, go ahead and just squeeze that trigger. Now hopefully, I'm deep enough at this point, we can get this sucker crafted. Alright, there it is, guys. Monumentous moment. Oh yeah. I can already feel the feel-goods. There it is, rendering into view. Nice, nice. Now, if it's your first time playing, you're probably thinking, I'm going to drive that? I know, guys, it's a bit intimidating. You don't have the best visibility on clearances from inside this thing, and I think they do that by design. So this is it. This is your window. This is your cockpit. So, you know, you've got this great big, you know, thing hanging down here, and it just makes it very difficult to tell kind of where you're at. The good news is I've got some experience driving this thing. I'll give you guys some tips and pointers as we go, so you can confidently pilot your own Cyclops submarine. Because, guys, these things are so much fun. Best part about this, it's a mobile base. We can actually get crafting in there. We can put... Oh, and check this out. I mentioned, like, every time we get in a new build, a new vehicle, you know, a new base, the voice is different. So check out the voice for what I call Big Bertha.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
It's like this great, big, foreboding, welcome aboard, Captain. Of course, you know, my boys ain't dropped yet, so I can't get my voice quite that deep, but I'm working on it. Alright guys, so this is the basic layout. For those of you that are new to the game, I'll just give you a real quick tour here. This is where our decoys are going to go, and we're going to get craft into that. Now, the bad thing is it takes, I think, copper. Unfortunately, the decoys are a little bit expensive on some of the mats that are tougher to come by. That's not right. Oh yeah, we need to craft the tube first. Now, this is why I preemptively got the ruby and the gel sacks, because this needs aerogel. So I've already got the lithium, I've already got the titanium. I'll go ahead and craft that, you know, ASAP. All this other stuff is just kind of whatever for now. The death module would be kind of nice to have if I have enough ruby. I might have to go back out for ruby on that. And then the decoys. I don't see the decoy schematic. But I think if I remember right, it's like 1 titanium and 1 copper. Again, I'm going off memory, and I realize my memory isn't always the best source of reliable information nowadays, to put it nicely. Okay, this is all prawn suit. But there it is right there. Creature decoy. Okay, so I had it wrong. It's 3 titanium and 1 wiring kit. See, I knew it was a material that I'm always struggling to keep up with, and in this case it's going to be silver. Now, we're going to be crafting tons of these things because you're going to be launching them constantly when you're in deeper waters to keep, you know, the bad guys off your sub. So that's a lot of wiring kits, guys. That's a big demand for silver. So once we get the prawn suit, and again, I've already got the drill arm, we'll be able to find those nice big juicy silver nodes. And we'll be able to go to town on that. And we'll be able to craft decoys to our heart's content. The only thing I really don't like about the sub is even though we've got the schematic to build a nuclear reactor, this is not a nuclear powered sub. And I don't know why, guys, but they did not give us the ability to snap one in here anywhere. I don't know why. I wish, you know, Subnautica, if you're watching, that it'd be nice if that would be an ability on one of these updates to be able to actually put down the nuclear, bio, and whatever other reactors you wanted to in here. So the way we power the sub, guys, and again, it's not ideal. Power cells. You got 3 on this side and 3 on this side. So the power cells requirement is just going to be massive. And the more stuff you're running in the sub, the faster that drain's going to go down. So again, it's kind of nuisancey because you're constantly swapping batteries. Here's your upgrades. So there's our death module MK1. A lot of this crafts right here in the Cyclops, even for the upgrades. I'm not a big fan of the shield. Again, sucks up a lot of battery power, guys. Now we're going to be raiding an alien base where we get, you know, better power cells. They're going to be like ion power cells or something. I can't remember now. It's been a long time. But anyway, it's going to be like an upgrade to that power cell, and it lasts like 2, maybe 3 times longer. Still kind of nuisancey because they're still constantly running out. Again, it's just not ideal. Fire suppression, honestly, if I ever do develop a fire, just find it's easier to go around and do it yourself with a fire extinguisher. The docking bay repair module, I'm not a big fan of it because, again, you know, battery powered juice. I'd rather just go out into the water, repair my sea moth and my prawn suit that way rather than relying on the sub to do it at the expense of those pesky batteries. Sonar, it's great, but it really, and I mean really, puts a drain on that juice. So, you know, I used to play with it, but I got to the point where I was tired of swapping batteries out just for that thing, and I quit using it. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell, guys. Yeah, our decoys get crafted here too. So I'm going to put some bare minimum stuff down for right now. You know, we're going to go ahead and get crafting. And the awesome thing about this is everything on this menu can go in here. Every single thing you see here. Now you might be thinking, oh, power cells. We have a power cell charger. Yes, we do. But hold your horses there, Tonto. If you build the power cell in here and put it on the wall and take these power cells out and stick them in there, you're taking juice from the power cells that are still in here to fill up these power cells. So you're basically just robbing Peter to pay Paul the whole time, and you're absolutely not getting anywhere. So what I usually do is I preemptively craft just a whole bunch of power cells. I put them in a locker, and I just have a bunch here ready to go. So anyway, that's my little spiel and my quick tour. And getting back to, you know, being able to craft, guys. Fabricator, radio, absolutely medkit fabricator. Wall lockers, I'm going to be putting them down, folks. I'm going to be putting them down. I will probably put down a battery charger just for the small stuff. Because honestly, you know, sometimes I just run out of batteries. And it's nice to have a way to charge that. Not that I'll necessarily be relying on that. That'll be kind of like a last-ditch resource type thing. You can put down planters and plant trees and stuff in here. So much fun. Of course, modification station can absolutely go in here. And for look, sometimes I'll build an aquarium and maybe some furniture, you know, just if I'm getting goofy. But for you survivalists, you can put a vending machine in here. That's a nice touch, for sure. And yeah, definitely, you know, the grow beds if you want it. And that's pretty much it, guys. Go nuts. And don't worry, you know, if you build it and you don't like it there, you can tear it down, get your mats back, put it somewhere else. Oh, I almost forgot to talk about this. So when we dock our sea moth, which I'm going to go do here in a second. But yeah, we'll be able to use that kind of like what we do in the moon pool. So you can do that for both the prawn suit and the sea moth when it's docked with the sub here. Okay, so now you can't just jump in and start driving. You've got to actually turn the engines on. And guys, this is like the touch screen in the scanner room. It's just you point your cursor, and that's how you activate a lot of this stuff. External camera system, I rely heavily on that. And again, I'll demonstrate all this stuff as we go, guys. But that's where you launch your decoys from. That's like rigged for silent, but again, it really puts it to your juice. So to go ahead and turn the thing on, just go ahead and activate your engines here. And just leaving the sub on per se doesn't drain juice. It's the headlights that do it. And I don't know if you can really see, like in my screen there, I'm kind of lighting up the ground there and then turning it off. So my headlights are off right now. And we can actually, you know, make it dark in here. Actually, rig for silent, I think, does that. And I don't know if that uses extra juice. Honestly, I can't remember that aspect. But I do know it turns all the lights off. You get this, like, red glow. So yeah, my headlights are off. I've got everything turned off that I can turn off. You know, I don't have anything charging. I haven't driven anywhere yet, so all these should theoretically still be 100. Oh wow, it's already down to 88. See, look at that go, guys. I haven't even done anything yet. Okay, so maybe a rig for silent is consuming juice. Something's consuming juice right now. Let me turn that off and go look at it. Or maybe, you know, that's changed, or maybe I'm remembering it wrong. Okay, we're at 155 of 200 on that battery. See, look at that, guys. That battery's 25% toasted already. And I haven't even done anything yet. Hey, Dottie, what's going on? Good to see you again. Okay, that was doing it, guys. The rig for silent. So yeah, that does consume power. I had it right the first time. So not doing anything, headlights off, you know, it shouldn't go anywhere. Just leaving it in this state. So again, even though it's technically running, it's not necessarily using juice. And you know, you can come back here and look at these batteries and validate that. And you know, if you see it just draining, then that'll clue you in that something's going on there. You need to turn something off or whatever the case may be. So anyway, what I'm going to do here is just kind of show you, and it's the same thing, guys, with the swimming. If you hold the left bumper down, you kind of go up and surface. If you hold the right bumper down, you sink. Left and right is left joystick, as it's always been. And then, you know, you're looking around with your view or whatever is this way. So this doesn't necessarily turn the sub left and right. Your left joystick does that. So sometimes you'll see me doing things in tandem. I'll be turning and I'll be, you know, going forward again with that left joystick or backwards. And of course you really can't see what I'm doing right now because the sun isn't up. But maybe it's starting to kind of sort of start coming in. I don't know if you guys can see that on my channel yet or not. It's still awful dark. Okay, that's a little bit better lit up. So anyway, yeah, you might see me doing some of the stuff in tandem, you know, like driving forward and, for example, using my left bumper to kind of go forward and up. Or, you know, forward and down or just whatever. you can combination this thing to your heart's content. Now I mentioned it's very tough to see. Now in time you're going to get used to this thing. You'll kind of know spatially like where you're at and like how much clearance you've got. But before you start getting that good and used to it, you can always activate the cameras here. And the very first camera it gives you, it's facing forward and it's facing straight ahead. So if I push forward on my left joystick, I can see the camera showing me going forward. And I can back it up, I can turn left, right, whatever I want to do right now, I can do that. And this camera moves. So, just try to be familiar with this view here. That's facing forward. That's facing rear. And of course you can look down. So a lot of times, if you're really sinking down into a very deep, big cave or whatever, and you hold down on that right joystick to sink, you can actually use this camera to see, that you're clearing or about to hit something. And you can kind of see what's under you that way. There's different cameras. Use your arrows on the D-pad to change cameras. And it just shows you different cameras, different views. This is the very, very rear of the sub now. That's like the rear, I don't know, whatever they call that fan, I guess, in the back. Propeller. Another one on top. So this is very top of the sub. Very nice feature to have. So if I'm ascending, I'll probably use that camera most likely. And again, they all rotate, etc. So that's it, guys. You got 3 cameras. Top, bottom, and rear. By default, I usually use this one. Alright, so that's it. That is toward the sub. Now I mentioned, trying to get in close to base to save time swimming back and forth constantly. That's why I wanted my base here where there's a nice big opening. So the Cyclops could get nestled in here nice and close to the base. So when I'm going back and forth, to craft or get raw materials or just whatever is needed. Now be careful not to get too close. I've had this sub move around. I don't know what happens. The game glitches or something. And I've had it and I watched it happen. And I was powerless to do anything about it. The thing got pushed like sideways right into my base. Wham! It really wrecked the sub. I was repairing holes for days. So it didn't wreck my base. I don't know how, but yeah, it really did a number on this sub. So, it's safe to be close. Just, not too close. A little bit of a swim never hurt nobody in the interest of safety. Okay, guys, so again, getting back to things I want. Gold, titanium, coral, titanium, copper. Yeah, so we just need, the regular run-of-the-mill stuff. And I mentioned this is going to become my new mobile base. So I'm going to start stocking it. Just when I go out and I get these mats, I'll start storing them. I'll build the lockers. And, yeah, we'll have everything we need right there in the sub when we're out on missions. We've got, all of our resources right there. It's very nice to have that. So, yeah, all that can stay. Okay, and again, this is going to get real tight here with resources. So what I want to do is, and I actually meant to go ahead and store that mask. Totally forgot to do that. But the first thing I want to do is start crafting batteries. Big batteries, for the sub. Because we're going to need them, guys. We're going to be going through them. And that'll also save some inventory here once I figure out where I'm going. Okay, so 3 silicone rubber. That'll clear up just a little bit in inventory at the same time. Okay, so it's moving day. Moving day for our sub. I don't know if I'm going to be crafting a bunch of glass stuff in this sub, but I'm going to bring the glass. Because you just never know, and it really sucks, being like 10,000 miles away. And you're like, oh yeah, I left that back at the main base. And it's too late. Okay, well, I'm already full up. Actually, yep. I'll go ahead and download some of this, and then I'll
Welcome aboard.
get more of the needed materials for getting some of that stuff installed. Now, you do have some prefabricated lockers in here. They're not real deep. You know, they don't have the deepest of pockets. But, you know, for now, this is a good kind of go-to quick storage. Yeah, you know what, just for moving purposes, that'll speed things up here in the stream if I just dump a lot of this. I know where it's at when I need it. I'll probably keep some of this titanium back. And craft some, you know, actual lockers that we'll actually be using up on the main deck. So yeah, it's all going in here, guys. Modification station, the whole 9 yards. So me personally, I like to have my fabricator here, modification station here. You know, it's kind of like my crafting wall. And then all my lockers, I just start going around the room, around the world in 80 days. I put some lockers over here, put some lockers over there. And I mean, you'll fill them up fast. So, you know, you might be thinking this is overkill, but guys, I'm telling you, where the sub can go, every resource in the game is now open to you. And there's lots of them out there. You haven't seen nothing yet. And you're going to want just a little bit of wiggle room between this wall and this wall for your the stuff that you can put there for crafting. So what I might actually do is start from the back here. Oops. Ugh. Bro. Oh. The game thought I was trying to get into some other menu there or something, apparently. And normally I'm a stickler for making sure these things are super, you know, parallel and all that, but, you know, I can really spend some time doing that. I'm not going to make you guys suffer and watch all that business. So I'll just put down a few quick, you know, a few quick lockers to get us going. Get us moved in as quickly. Oh, can do one more there. We'll get moved in as quickly as possible, and then it's Aurora time. And guys, you can do everything in here you can do in a base. You can put posters in here for decoration. And there's one poster that I like from the Aurora. It's like my favorite poster of the whole game. In fact, it'll probably be like a thumbnail at some point. So yeah, definitely my favorite poster of the game. It's like a cat in a spacesuit underwater with a fishbowl as his helmet. I love it. And it says a little something funny on there. Yeah, it's perfect. It's like, mwah, it's like perfect for the game. Alright, it is moving day. Moving day continued. Now the awesome thing is I already have some of this stuff constructed, so I'll already have the mast to put it down on the other side, which is awesome. For example, oh yeah. So that'll save a lot of having to craft silly stuff, you know, like copper wire for this and wiring harness for that and etc. Again, I definitely want a trash can. Now don't get me wrong, I still use the base. So, you know, I'm going to have to recraft all this stuff at some point anyway. Just for the purposes of the stream is why I'm doing this like the quick way, the lazy way. But yeah, normally when I'm playing for myself, I would have all the crafting setups in both my submarine and my main base. That's right. That's for later. There's that titanium. We're going to be going through it. Already almost full again. Wowzers. What can I grab 2 of? I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? So this, again, this is why I like to have a base close to where there's a nice deep drop-off. Because if you have to park, you know, like 500 meters away from your main base because you're just like right smack dab in the middle of the shallows. I've done that. And it just becomes gruesome, swimming back and forth between the two. I was like, okay, next time I play this game, and every time, you know, henceforth from there and forevermore, I will always build my base close to a deep drop-off. Hey, Sunny family, good to see ya. Ah, sweet deal. 1.5 speed. Wow, I wonder what that sounded like. Alright, so back to lockers. If I've got the titanium for it, I'll go all the way across the room here. I doubt I do, though. I don't know, it's going to be close. The good thing is you can decraft these, or deconstruct them and get the titanium back if needed. So it's not like, you know, it's just stuck here forever. In my mind, this is also titanium that's stored. What am I stuck on? Uh-oh. Oh. Whew. Thought my game locked up there. I didn't know what was happening. Okay, again, I feel like I'm getting a little bit too nerdy with, you know, making sure that the alignment is perfect. So I'll just do the quick version here. Just keep swimming. Now again, I don't know if I can get away with one more here. I'm going to try it, but that's why I wanted to start at the other end. Okay, so let's go get our fabricator. I'll probably put that pretty close to the doorway there. And down, as a matter of fact. I don't want to block in the door. I've tried to do that, you know, to make more room for other stuff, and it starts kind of feeling like you're getting clipped on it every time you're going in and out. So I usually like to kind of keep it flush-ish, you know, to that doorway. Okay, let's do our radio, DOS radio. And it really doesn't matter where the radio goes. In fact, I oftentimes just put it in here. It's just more convenient, you know, getting in and out of the sub, you see it. It's kind of like right in your face. And not only that, it's kind of out of the way of my crafting area primarily. So yeah, it should do us justice right about there. And for now, I'm going to put my poster on this wall. Whoops. And that's going to be replaced real soon when I get into that Aurora. But for now, that's good enough. Okay, so I don't remember what else I had pre-craft. Oh, battery charger, that's right. Yeah, again, I don't know if it'll let me get away with placement here. Oh, wow, it does. Sweet. Okay, and I think that was pretty much it that I came with. Again, we need to get that taken care of. I'll go back out with my knife here at some point. Get into the kelp. Modification station. Cannot forget. The modification station. Uh-oh, that doesn't go there anymore? What? Yeah, it does. Okay, so I guess I remember that looking a little bit more tidy there, but yeah, it comes out away from that wall a little. I do kind of remember that now. It kind of needs room to open up at the top, and that's why there's a bit of a gap there. Again, no point in building that whatsoever. And, you know, pretty stuff in greenery, I'll just hold off on that for now. For right now, actually these are kind of fun, and that's easy. Add a little greenery to your world. Boy, it really doesn't want one there, does it? And again, guys, that's just stored titanium in my mind. That can be ripped out at any time. And this way you're not filling up all your lockers with titanium when you can just make plants and have something pretty to look at. Alright, so yeah, I just kind of lay this stuff out. All my pre-craft stuff goes right here in this very first locker usually. Then I kind of move to titanium and copper, you know, earlier game. And I just go down the row. Earlier game to later game stuff usually. But really just do whatever system works for you. Wait a minute. Yep, we're good. Oh, wait a minute. Because I'm going to forget. I already know this is going to happen.
All systems online.
Where is my knife? I'm going to go take care of that mesh right now and get that medkit fabricator going. Well, I cannot see a thing. You tend to forget, like, how spoiled you are after having that flashlight. Okay, and I think it's 2 to make 1 mesh, and then I think it's... Oh, did I pass it already? No, right here. Okay, so we only need the 1 mesh. Sweet. And since I don't have a fabricator in there anymore, I guess I gotta go this way first. Because, wow, that sucks up some inventory. Okay, we need 1 silver, 1 titanium, and that pesky computer chip. Okay, for right now I'm just going to focus on, like, getting everything over here, and then I'll worry about the crafting. Hopefully I don't need either one of those instruments on my little journeys back and forth here. And I got the Seamoth kind of pre-positioned over there. I think I found some wreckage I wanted to point out before we actually got going. Totally forgot about that. I got all excited about the Cyclops, and here we are. Hey, Kiko, welcome. Good to see you tonight. Welcome to the stream. Alright, that is definitely stuff that I'm going to leave back here. I don't know why I keep opening that locker. I know there's nothing in it. Oh, wow, that's like half my inventory right there. And that 1 locker. Didn't quite do it. So yeah, we might have a couple more trips here yet. That's okay. My day is going amazing. Thank you for asking. It was actually beautiful here today. It was perfect weather. It was gorgeous. A truly blessed day. And yeah, I spent most of the day outdoors because it was just that nice out. And then, yeah, streaming Subnautica here was just icing on the cake. Definitely love this video game. I always have. Ever since the first time I turned it on and I saw it. I knew this was going to be one of my forever games. Almost immediately knew it. Okay, I don't know how this is going to work out with my lockers. I'll just try to, again, keep it from like earlier game stuff to later game stuff. But it's probably not going to turn out perfect. It never does. I don't know if any of you guys have ever played Ark, but yeah, Vault and Ark, and that is a total nightmare. Constantly rearranging vaults. What did I do there? One too many button presses. Alright, I might have got it all. Sweet. That's a win. And guys, table coral, take it with you. Because in some of the later game areas, believe it or not, that stuff becomes incredibly tough to come by. And it's used. It's used for computer chips and other things. So I just always find, you know, table coral is a big problem when I get down into the later game areas. So pretty much anything early your game you can think of, bring it. Better to bring it with. Okay, so let's see. I think I'm going to go ahead and get lithium. No, wait. I wanted this to be gold and silver. That's right. Then this one can start becoming lithium. And other stuff. But yeah, I tend to keep a lot of lithium on hand. Plasteel ingots, you name it, it's used. So okay, and as these start filling up, I'll just, you know, spread them out a little bit better. But for now, this will be a real good starting point. And believe me, I am putting a hard save down. As soon as I'm done with all this, you know, back and forth with the inventory, hard save. I am not going through this again. Okay, that's right, a couple of medkits. Oh. I guess glass is pre-craft. So is that. Power cells, I usually keep back here, you know, closer to the engine room. It keeps them out of the way of other stuff. I always know where they're at. I can get to them quickly. Alright guys, what have I been talking about? I know I'm going to need silver. Oh, that's right. We were going to go ahead and craft a medical kit fabricator. Now, this does take battery power, unfortunately. So, yeah, I need 1 silver and then a computer chip. Computer chip is copper. Wire. Table coral. And gold? Heck, I can't remember. Yep, gold. Okay. Oh, and 2 table coral. Yeah, so that table coral can start going pretty fast. So I would definitely, you know, just take a moment, go out and get a bunch. Fill up a locker with them if you have to, or at least half a locker. Okay, where are we at? We got it. Good. And sometimes I'll actually build 2 or 3 of these. Just, you know, sometimes in the later game areas, you're just getting chomped on a lot. And you know, you might start really going through med kits. So, you know, keep that in mind. You can build more than 1 of these. And in fact, I probably will here at some point in my gameplay. But for now, I'll just do the 1. Alright, so that's it guys. That's pretty much my starter sub build there. Got the lockers down. Got the 3 big ones there. I got the modification station. Now all I gotta do, I guess, is go get my Seamoth, dock it, and we are ready to rock and roll. Now make sure your Seamoth is fully charged before you dock it in the Cyclops. Again, when it's docked in the Cyclops is going to try to charge it. We don't want it to do that if the sea moth is like super low on juice. So I'm going to go over here, see where it's at. I might go ahead and park it in the base here for just a few minutes. And, you know, swim back over here while that's charging and explore that wreckage. So there's the wreckage right there. That's just due north of my base. I didn't quite get a reading there, what that said. 95, okay, that's not too terrible. See, I'll just go ahead and raid the deal here. Wow, my stuff is like all out of order now. I had it in a specific order for a reason. Ouch! Ouch! I think? Knife? Heck, I can't remember. Alright, so, yeah, definitely want to go ahead and break into this one and see what goodies there might be had here. And you know, it's funny, I knew there was more wreckages in the green biome. I just wasn't quite going the right direction to find it. What mysteries lay in store? Start with the PDA. Ooh, the Dasagi!
PDA data.
Good old Dasagi crew. Okay, I'm pretty sure I got the furniture scans and stuff in here. Floodlight, check. Oh wow, nothing going on in there? That was really disappointing. I saw this great big chunk of wreckage. I'm like, oh, there's going to be lots of fun stuff in there. Well, it's there if y'all need it, want it, you know, whatever. I'm going to make sure like I'm not missing another compartment or entrance somewhere. Because that felt a little bit under budgeted for the size of this thing. What was that? Okay, yep, nothing.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Okay, so I said 95% wasn't terrible, but you know, I'd rather just go ahead and get a top off here again. That'll save the Cyclops, the heavy lifting on that juice. And while that's tinking, I'm going to jump out and get, hopefully, some more, I almost said carbon. This ain't no man's sky. Some more copper and, you know, the mushrooms, and maybe get some more batteries crafted for the big cells. Just have some more go-tos there. So let's see, 1, 2. Okay, remember it takes 2 batteries to make 1 big battery. So that's a lot of copper, and that's a lot of mushrooms. You know, they're going to go fast. Oh yeah, speaking of bringing things with you, you know, on the sub that are commonly easily found, you know, here. Mushrooms, guys. Believe it or not, the need will arise from time to time for those mushrooms. So yeah, definitely put a few in your locker. Pretty much anything you can get your hands on here, I would bring with. You know, you don't have to do it in terribly large amounts and quantities, but definitely have at least a handful of them. Just in case you happen to need anything in a pinch, you've got the resources. There we go, baby. Copper. Okay, so in addition to the batteries I'm about to craft, I want some for storing. Oh no, really? Wow. Guess I didn't realize I had skipped up that many mushrooms. I don't need quite that many. A couple more pieces of copper would be ideal. If I can find some quickies, I will. Ah, creature egg. The limestone used to be more abundant. I don't know if that's just me and my old memory here, but I remember there were just like little stones everywhere you could break. Not so much anymore. Not one single stone in here. Wow. Yeah, normally the caves have stuff like that. Unless I've already emptied this out and it's just not, you know, respawning. That could be. And believe it or not, there are copper nodes that we can drill into with our prawn suit when the time comes. So yeah, treat copper like gold, because I'm telling you, you're going to go through it. You're going to go through it fast. It's very hard to keep up with the copper demand in this game. Wow, like, where's the beef? I'm gonna get like 10,000 miles away from the bat cave here just looking for like nodes. Or whatever, stones. Limestones. I just remember them being more abundant, but again, I could either... Maybe I'm wrong about that, or maybe I'm just like not in a great part of the shallows for it. That could be. I mentioned you always spawn in a new place in the shallows every time you play a new game. And I'm in kind of an unfamiliar area in the shallows. I know a good portion of the shallows like the back of my hand, but this doesn't feel super familiar to me. I cannot believe I'm not seeing just tons of these limestones sticking out at me. Far and few between. Alright, that's good enough for now. That gives me, you know, a little bit of a head start. I would have ideally wanted 4. Come on, baby. Nuts. Maybe this one? Yeah, buddy. All right. Now we can advance our game. So by now our sea moth should be good to go. And yeah, we're done moving, so let's ski-daddle. Okay, and same type of party, guys. It's all self-guided, so you just kind of have to get close. And you'll want to go in kind of slow until you get used to this, because you can ram and damage both vehicles. So just, you know, little nudges, and you'll be good to go there. Welcome aboard, Captain. I don't think I'll ever get my voice that low. Alright, what did I get all those mats for? Batteries. First things first, let's craft batteries. That'll make more power cells. But something I kind of just thought of, I still need spare batteries, you know, for like small stuff. So I might only craft like one more big battery, and then I'll have like 2 spares in the back pocket there. I guess I just needed the 1 rubber. Genius. And yeah, same type of party, guys. Keep those medkits flowing. Alright, so now to download some of this stuff. And I usually put like live stuff like mushrooms and that kind of thing, because you can really, you know, start filling up lockers with just different types of mushrooms in the game. The deep mushroom, that's another kind of like key ingredient for different things. And you'll be going through those pretty quickly too, so... Yeah, these last couple of lockers here will mostly be mushrooms. Okay, so that's all stored. Guys, save that game. Alright, so now that the sea moth is docked here, I'll show you this. And again, it's just kind of the same thing that you can do. I mean, you don't have a fabricator here. That's the difference. You cannot fabricate the upgrades. It's not an actual vehicle upgrade station. But you can access the upgrades here. Pop them in, pop them out. You can open the storage, which is really nice. You don't have to swim outside and, you know, launch your vehicle, your sea moth or your prawn suit to get into that vehicle's storage. You can do that vehicle storage from right here inside the Cyclops. Very handy feature to have. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for right now, guys. Again, make sure that's saved. And we are about an hour in. Well, I spent an hour doing the Cyclops. Honestly, I thought this was going to be super fast. Bada bing, bada bang, in and out. So no, Sonny, to answer your question, the sub is absolutely not safe from predators. I'm going to go ahead and craft a decoy. Now, there is an upgrade for the decoy. And that's going to be a priority. Because, like, that's the lifeline to the sub. So the upgrade needs an aerogel, 2 lith, and titanium. 2 lithium. Aerogel is 1 and 1. 2 lithium. 3 titanium. Yeah, it's absolutely going to be... That's going to be, to me, more important than getting the depth thing going. The depth thing can wait. You know, I probably don't have enough ruby anyway. The most critical thing that you need to put in here is this right here. And I forgot to craft the aerogel. Again, guys, because these launch tubes and the and they don't stack, by the way. Sadly, I've tried to put more than 1 in there, and it only, you know, bumped it up to the 5, so it doesn't stack. Oh yeah, the upgrade station is over here on the Cyclops. You got to dump it in this machine here. Go ahead and pop it on in. So again, if you try to put another one in there, it just won't increase the size. You only really get 1. So it went from 1 to 5. Definitely well worth it. Well worth every material that we put into that. So now I can put 5 decoys in there. And I can't remember what we need for decoys. Wait a minute. That doesn't get crafted here, does it? Or does it? Did I read that wrong? Okay, maybe they're in here. Okay, there we go. So yeah, this is where the wiring kits and stuff just get real taxing. So if I can, you know, craft what I want, I'll do 6 altogether. So that's 2 wiring kits, which is 4 freaking silver. Ouch. And then 6 titanium. Oops. And remember, every time we craft, it's chewing up juice. So let's see where our battery's at now. Not a lot, but it's still something to factor into your thinking. Silver. Oops. Wow, I had just 4 pieces of silver. But again, guys, priorities. You know, this is our lifeline. I cannot stress that enough. I don't know why I keep thinking that that comes from the sub fabricator. It does not. And the funny thing about these decoys is sometimes they'll stay there for a while. Like, I've dropped them, you know, gone off and done other things halfway across the ocean, then I come back like days later, and my decoy is still sitting there pinging. And I'm like, oh, I'll be darned. Alright, so go ahead and load all those in there, guys. And again, I usually pick this last locker here for things like batteries and also decoys. Because again, it's all close, it's right here in the back of the room. So now I will drop a hard save and call my Cyclops part finally finished. Now, guys, driving it, I kind of talked about it a second ago, but if you're just going around, you know, you're buzzing around and you start getting a creature attack, you just got to move over here, you know, hit that button, that'll pop a decoy out. 9 times out of 10, the creature goes after the decoy and leaves the sub completely alone. Sometimes you have to keep popping them out. Sometimes the thing is just really locked onto you, and you're going to go through 3, 4, maybe even all 5 in one go. That's why I say, guys, that upgrade and getting the decoys in there, absolutely critical. I have lost a sub. I have lost 2 subs, and both times it was because of a Leviathan attack. So, and I didn't have decoys. You know, either I got lazy and didn't load the thing and I only had 1 or 2 in there, or I just, you know, it spaced my mind and, you know, just whatever the case may have been, I didn't have the decoys, you know, to come to my rescue and I just got crushed. So yeah, definitely, you know, frequent saves when you're in danger territories. Luckily, I was able to reload a save and I didn't have to recraft the entire Cyclops. The bad thing about losing the Cyclops, guys, if you're going to use it as a mobile base, and you get your butt handed to you by a Leviathan, and it completely wrecks the sub, everything you had in here, gone. Everything. Everything stored in lockers, all the mats, all the pre-crafts, you know, all the tools, all the everythings, gone. Terrible. So yeah, if you ever get into a situation where the thing is, you know, just getting wailed on and you're like close to death, just hit that button that stops everything, you know, pushes the pause button. Go to quit, reload, you know, just go ahead and quit the game. And then, you know, you'll go back into the game through the main menu, reload your game file, and, you know, give it another go. The last thing you want to do is watch this thing get demolished and all your hopes and dreams sunk to the bottom of the ocean with it. So anyway, that's my little spiel on submarine safety from Captain Tight Pants. And now that I've gone through all that, guys, we really need to get to this Aurora, because I have a feeling this stream is going to go a lot later than, you know, I originally anticipated. But wow, there was just so much to cover here for the Cyclops. I wanted to make sure I got everything said. So anyway, guys, once you got your engine started, which mine are still on, good to go. Oh, and don't use the high speed setting, by the way. You can only use that in real short bursts. It makes the engine overheat very quickly. So in addition to my complaint about the stupid batteries is the only way to power this thing, that's my other complaint, is the high speed setting there, it really kills the sub. It sucks the juice. Not only that, fires will start. You know, you have to get out of your driver's chair here and go put fires out. All in all, it's just really not... It's not a good thing. Like, it's just not good. So I would just forget you even have that button. I don't even use it anymore. You know, I used to, but when I kept having these problems with fires and everything else, I just quit using it. So anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and... again, if you're having trouble seeing and you want to make sure you're not going to wreck, feel free to go to your camera view here. And that really shows you what you got going on. And once I get out into deeper water here, I will exit that. And I should have pretty good line of sight here and get out to the Aurora. Oh, I don't want to crash into my mobile vehicle bay. Now guys, a preparatory note before we actually go to the Aurora, make sure you've got your full radiation stuff donned. So radiation suit, radiation helmet. Reason being, this is going to be a very high radiation zone. Not only that, make sure you've got full batteries and flashlight. And believe it or not, we're going to be using a lot of our repair tool in there. There's like a room. We have to go around and repair a bunch of like radiation leaks. And there's a lot of holes to plug. So that repair tool, that battery is just going to start dwindling. Make sure you got a knife, because there's going to be little like sucky fishies that we're going to have to fight off. Make sure you bring a torch cutter. And again, that propulsion cannon, if you really want it, bring it. But again, that takes up a lot of inventory. So me personally, I just don't bring it anymore because I like to have the space for stuff I want to haul out of there. Posters, decorations, you know, just other loot, etc. So yeah, that's just me and my playstyle. But, you know, I'll be honest, that propulsion cannon was nice to have. It just, you know, and nowadays in my gameplay, I like to prioritize the inventory over bringing the propulsion cannon. Matter of fact, I wonder what that takes to craft. I know I've talked about building these things and, you know, experimenting with... Well, I don't have the silver anymore anyway, so yeah, that answered that question. Okay, so back to the Aurora. Yeah, Sonny, honestly, for a first playthrough, you probably want to keep... You know, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Keep your meat and potatoes probably back in your main base. Bring some stuff, you know, just a couple here, a couple there kind of stuffs, you know, just so you can craft in a pinch, you know. But yeah, for the most part, you probably want to keep most of your eggs in the safe basket. Okay, guys, this starts getting real shallow here. So you can already see some land sticking up here where the butt end of this Aurora is sticking up. Now remember, Leviathans, guys, now we're still technically in the shallows on this side of the ship, but only this side of the ship. If you start getting back toward the back engines here, they can come up, as we found out in, you know, last night's stream. The no bueno, where the Cyclops is concerned, so I'm going to stay in the shallows. I am not going to bring this thing into deep water. So I like to get up right alongside of the good old Aurora here. And again, if you want to make sure you know you're in shallow enough water as you're going through, don't forget you got your cameras here. And again, I'm going to stay up close to the shallow part of the water here. In fact, I probably don't want to go out any further because that Leviathan, we're not far from his water territory. So in the back and in the front, that's definitely Leviathan territory. So I might actually just kind of scooch in a little bit closer to here and call this good enough. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and actually use my sea moth to get in closer to where we actually need to go. Now this whole area, all these shallows here, guys, lots and lots of loot. You already see like all the little stones coming into view, little nodes, all this scrap. There's titanium here for days. You're going to find these little footlockers everywhere, just random stuff, water, food, batteries, medkits, just resource rich here. I cannot stress that enough. There's some wreckages in the area. The mushroom biome is right by us. But yeah, just for the scans, you know, the resources, sometimes I'll just come here and farm. Copper, etc. Just, it's all here. But anyway, we're not here for all that stuff. We're actually here to get our butts into this Aurora. So here it is, guys. No more shiny rocks. Time to get in the sucker. So we do unfortunately need to go around to the front, but there's kind of a way in. We don't have to actually go out into the deep water where that Leviathan is. And right here where this drop-off is, that's Leviathan territory. In fact, you're going to hear him howling here in a second. There he is. Sometimes he comes right up in here and tries to get you. I have lost a sea moth here.
In this region are sparse. The Aurora's radioactive fallout will have devastating effects.
And this is all part of the storyline. When you start approaching the Aurora, it kind of kicks off some gameplay stuff there. So anyway, the way I like to cheat the system a little bit, instead of just hanging out in deep water, you know, going out too far, I like to stay super shallow and take a sharp right turn the moment you can get in here. Now, I've never had a Leviathan come up into this space. So, there he is right there. Look at him. He almost had me. He was a lot closer than I thought. So this is why I don't bring the Cyclops over here, guys, because that thing will give you a train wreck. And then some. So yeah, we're going to let him just be. So yeah, once you get into this little cavity, you know, you're more or less safe-ish. And what I'm looking for is like a walking platform right over there. Now, same kind of rule like the island. Don't park this thing up here out of the water. Make sure you leave it out here in open water. Otherwise it has a tendency to kind of glitch into the build and you can't drive it back out of here. Really sucks when that happens. So just kind of keep it out here where there's no metal platform or whatever directly under the sea moth, and you should be okay. Alright guys, welcome to the Aurora. Now there's going to be these crabs everywhere. I used to fight them off, you know, propulsion cannon will shoot them out of your way. They don't die, but it does kind of get them out of your way. Oh, and I totally forgot my fire extinguisher. I meant to bring one. I just didn't. But yeah, there's fire extinguishers here that they're going to give you, but I tend to run out because, you know, extinguishing the flames, that can really start kind of being a problem, so I don't know. I'm going to try it without and just take the free one and see what happens. Anyway, yeah, so you just kind of make your way up the ramp here to the right. And I'll try to point out that door I was talking about for those of you that did bring a propulsion cannon. This is another way in, but I'm not going to go that way because I don't have a propulsion cannon. And you notice all these crates just sitting here. Some of them again have batteries, medkits, useful stuff. Ouch.
Scans show the digestive tracts of nearby life forms contain human tissue.
That's horrific. Ouch. Good thing is they take minimal damage. That they're not like big on damage. Speaking of like useful stuff. So this is what you're looking for, guys. This little skinny narrow ramp. It kind of connects this great big platform we just ascended and kind of deaded into. And it brings you out and about into like another one that kind of hangs up and over the water that was previously out of our reach. Once you've hit this one, you know you're good to go. This is the way into the Aurora. And again, there should be like a free fire extinguisher laying here. Good to go. Haha, medkit. Thank you. Okay, so this is going to be our first need for fire extinguisher. Now we might be able to squeeze past this initial fire here. I can't remember. So yeah, maybe I'll save some juice here and try to squeeze around. And immediately we're going to see a PDA. Go ahead and scoop that up. And of course we got plenty of scans here. And I'm not going to rescan the stuff I've already gotten. I know the layout of this ship very well.
Reserve power. Unable to remotely download black box data.
Okay, so yeah, we're going that way. But first we need to turn right. There's a... there's a fire here, and this one we cannot get around. This one we absolutely have to extinguish. And make sure it's all out. If there's just a little bit of a glow left, it'll really knock it out of your health. And that's why I say these can really start, you know, draining your fire extinguishers. Okay, guys, I promised posters. You already see one.
Integrating new PDA data.
Oh, yeah. Okay, and it looks like I got all these scans already. And look on the floor, you know, make sure you're really looking around these rooms. Any kind of terminal like this, always interact with it.
Integrating new PDO
You're going to see just like loose items and little nooks and crannies on shelves, under tables, etc. So yeah, look on the floor, look under desks. You can really spend some time just looking throughout this for scans, for things on the wall. Yeah, good stuff. That was just the first room. Okay, so moving on. Now down here gets a little bit tricky without a propulsion cannon, I'm not going to lie. You kind of have to jump your way onto those crates and, you know, maneuver in that way. With the propulsion cannon, this is very easy. Very easy. You just, you know, blast it a couple of times that direction. It moves it very efficiently out of your way. But again, I don't have one, so not only that, I don't like to bring it anyway for the fact I don't like how much inventory it takes. So you just kind of have to get a running start here. And you can push down the left joystick. You push it down once, you go slow speed. You push it in again, you go, you know, fast. It's like auto sprint or sprint that stays on. So the sprint stays on until you push that joystick in again. And then if you push it in, it actually stays on. So yeah, I like to get a good running start here and jump. And, you know, you might have to play with that a little bit, but at some point, if you time it right, you'll be able to make that jump no problem, and you'll be on the other side of these crates. And we get out the exact same way, by the way. Okay, so here it is, guys, the belly of the beast. And we're going to have many doors with combination codes. Now, the game tells you every single code. It can be in a radio transmission. Whoops. It can be in, you know, it can be in a PDA download. It can just be in a number of different things. So, you know, you might find it in some of the dialogue, you know, like I think one of them came from the Sunbeam. They were talking about a code. I can't remember which. I'd like to be able to at least show you one of them. But anyway, this is a well-known thing, so it's easily Googleable. And as a matter of fact, normally when I play, I don't even bother going in these menus anymore. It's quicker for me to find them, the one I need, if I just go to Google. So, wow, I really wish I could have just shown you at least one of the codes. But anyway, they're going to be marked. So this is going to be the cargo bay door, I think is what the game calls it. And for those of you that really like the soundtrack to this game, you're going to feel very immersed in here. It's going to feel very spooky. Yeah, it's a great time. So anyway, I'm going to Google, you know, Subnautica door codes here. And this way, if you're just watching this video for some very fast help, I can actually read them all off to you. So this initial one is going to be cargo bay. I think I said loading dock or something. But yeah, cargo bay, 1454. And guys, this works just like a regular touchpad here. You can just interact with it here on the wall. Uh-oh. I might have to wait for that to shut up here for a second. So just go ahead and hit 1, 4, 5, 4. Now, you got to be real precise with that finger. If you make a boo-boo, just hit the backspace here, you know, and you can try it again. But notice I went ahead and put that code in. So cargo bay 1454, that's most likely going to be the first door code you have to interact with. And again, just in case you're here for some real quick help on all the other door codes, you're eventually going to be coming to 2 cabins. One's going to be just a regular cabin. That door code is 1869-1869. And then the captain's quarters is going to be 2679-2679. I feel like I'm calling out bingo right now. And then last but not least, you're going to be coming across like a lab. I think the game calls it the Robotics lab. And that door code is going to be 6483-6483. B9. The tumor is B9. I think anybody who's ever played bingo has had to endure that joke. Alright, guys. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure, I got all those door codes said. So that folks don't have to watch a 2-hour-long stream just for, quick help like that. So to answer your question, Sonny, no. Directly where I parked my Cyclops, that is Leviathan safe. But that's the only site and the only spot around the Aurora that's Leviathan safe. Literally anywhere else around there it can come get you. Okay, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but hello, Lincia. How are you doing? Can I join? See, I don't know what that means in Subnautica, because as far as I know, that's not a multiplayer game. And somebody else actually asked me the same thing. Can I join? And I don't know how I would even do that. So, I'm sorry, I just don't know how to answer the question there. Alright, guys, there are some just random things in here. Now, I'm pretty sure I already kind of searched back in this area. I didn't really find anything that knocked my socks off, if anything at all. Actually, nothing back there. But there's going to be a couple of loose, just random crates out here, Feel free to scoop up whatever goods you'd like. There's a loose PDA in here.
Integrating new PDA data.
Okay. And this might be the first encounter you're going to have with what I call suckerfish. And I don't mean suckerfish like they're really stupid. I mean suckerfish like they come to suck your blood, like vampire fish. And they're really nuisancey. So make sure, again, you have a knife. So you can kind of chop those things away from you, kill them. See, there's one on me already. So if it latches onto you, just, hack away at it. But yeah, very annoying. It's not like they do a ton of damage, but if you start getting, 3 or 4 of those latched on, that life can really start draining. Oh, I didn't know there were mods out there to do that. That is freaking awesome to know. Thank you for letting me know. I really had no idea. So to answer your question, unfortunately, no, I don't have any mods or any experience with mods. I'm playing on an Xbox. I don't know if it's moddable on the Xbox. That might be something I dabble into, at one time in the future. Okay, so anyway, not much else going on here in the way of loot. But this is going to be like an important area. So Seamoth Bay to the right. We're definitely going to dip over there first. And power tool, or excuse me, repair tool. Okay, go ahead and pop on in. There's going to be some scans in here, maybe a PDA or a terminal, I can't remember. And guys, fine tooth comb. Like, look everywhere. Look up. Look down. Look under stuff, walls. Just, you never know what you're going to be able to find and scan in these rooms. For example, there's a Seamoth fragment right there. Now, of course, we already have that, but I want to make sure I'm being thorough in here for, all viewers. But yeah, if you didn't already come here with a Seamoth, you're probably going to leave with a Seamoth. Okay, I'm not seeing anything else over here that is interactable. You probably already noticed the PDO. Now, I've been talking about this, guys. If you ever see, something sticking up from these little terminals, grab it. That is a free upgrade module. One you don't have to craft. Seamoth Depth 1, we've already got it. Okay. But, nonetheless, it's worthwhile to check those. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this room, I do believe. Moving forward, we're going to take a right, and this is where we're going to get real busy with the repair tool. Now, we don't actually have to extinguish this fire. Notice I just kind of jumped over here to the right, and I recommend you do that because we're probably going to need this for other fires. And you see it's already, almost half empty already. Or excuse me, it's just over half full. I didn't want to get yelled at there. Of course, I'm just being goofy. Ouch! I feel like that was karma, but I don't know why. So anyway, ouch! Twice! Lots and lots of more suckerfish in here, so be aware you're going to be chopping at them with your knife here as we proceed. Oh, check it out, another module. That's going to be golden. That is going right in my freaking Cyclops. That's going to be huge. Okay, so we got a breach scan here. Go ahead and scan that. So now that's it, guys. That's what you're looking for. So what you're kind of looking for are these little fireworks sparks kind of shooting out. They're on all sides of these things. Some underwater, you know. You kind of have to swim around each one of these silo-looking things to find them all. But just start repairing them.
Containment breach repaired.
And it says detected 10. So as we get more and more of these fixed, it should be giving us that feedback as we go as to where we're at, so there's no guessing.
Containment breach repaired.
There it is. 9 left.
Detected.
Okay, so now that's all we can do from this little platform. I'm going to go ahead and stay up for now. And get all the stuff that we can get. From up here anyway. We're going to have to kind of do the same thing, jump across here. No free modules here, that's okay. Oh, I guess there wasn't... Wait a minute. I remember repairing stuff on this side. Maybe I'm mistaken. A lot of that going around lately, guys. I don't think there's anything. I remember I've extinguished this fire before. I didn't really find anything back there. Would have been a nice hiding spot, though. Okay, folks, again, get that knife ready. These things are going to be coming out of the woodwork. And normally I just kind of seek them out first so I can just relax and focus on the... And I always hit them more than once, too, by the way. Sometimes I hit them once and they only stun. They don't necessarily die. And the next thing I know, I see it twitching and coming back to life and then coming over to suck my blood again. So yeah, I just kind of go around the room here. I seek them out. There should be at least 2 in here underwater somewheres. And some of them are pretty close to the surface, case in point. Okay, so that was 2. There might be 4 altogether. Oh! I spy a squiggly. A vampire fish. Okay, there's another one. Wow, there's a few in here. Jeepers. Man, these things are giving me the heebie-jeebies. Okay, that one's corrupted. Not like it matters. They're all here to do the same thing, which is harm you. Bleeder. Appropriately named. Little jerks. Alright, so I think I'm in the clear for now. If I see anything else zipping around, I'll just pull the knife back out. But yeah, guys, we're here for the breaches, so just go ahead and knock them out. Oop. And sometimes they're a little bit testy. So, you know, if you just can't seem to find a spot to do the repair, back up a little bit and give it another try.
Containment breach repaired.
Okay, check this other one here for any kind of sparks shooting out. Oh, there we go. So yeah, getting back to like my advice to make sure you come in here with a full battery on that repair tool. It doesn't go through a whole battery, but I do remember coming in here on an earlier playthrough and it wasn't very full at all. And I ran out about halfway into this. I was so mad. And, you know, I was kind of new to the game, so like changing batteries from one device to another never crossed my mind. It was a hindsight thought that I had. But yeah, just it was a lot of fun. Early game trials and early game errors. Alright, 4 left. Got one right here. Almost there, guys, and we can proceed on with more fun stuff like looting. Finding more posters and decorations. Once we get in the cabin areas,
Containment breach repaired.
a lot of fun stuff in there.
Detected.
And then the prawn suit bay. That's going to be lots and lots of scans. That one's real testy. That one's not even in the right spot.
Containment breach repaired. Further breaches detected.
Okay, so one more somewhere. Up there we go. Okay, so that's why I remembered another, like, catwalk where there were some things to repair. I just didn't remember it being underwater. Whoop. Okay, there it is.
Sealed. Radiation levels decreasing.
Okay, so that's going to help with radiation out in the ocean, too. All in all, it's really worthwhile to do this. So just get in here, get it done. And then you can kind of relax, honestly. The rest is easy peasy. The rest is just exploration, looting. You might have a crab or two to deal with at some point, but overall it's just more fun and relaxing from here on out. Well, I shouldn't say totally relaxing. I mean, you're in some kind of tight spots where the swimming is concerned. But, yeah, as far as, like, predators and stuff go, there's really no more of that nonsense once you get out of this little room. Okay, so I definitely need my laser torch to proceed. Now from this point, you might want to go back and download, because there's a lot to take out of here. This inventory is going to fill up awful fast. And again, it's all useful. It's decorations, it's, you know, mats, it's batteries, it's medkits, just... I don't know, I never seem to have enough space in my inventory when I read this thing. And again, guys, look every direction. Look up, look down, look on the floor, under stuff, around stuff. Be very thorough. We got a medkit just sitting there. PDA, and I almost missed that. I'm glad I, you know, popped back up there and looked. Oh, and there's an air pocket here, by the way. So if you're getting low on air, just, you know, bump her up and you'll see, like, the water level there. More batteries. Nice. Got some water sitting there. Thought there was more in this little area. Yep, another PDA.
Integrating new PDA data.
Okay, and now I'm pretty confident that's it from this little spot. Moving on. Lots of batteries in here, and I think they do that intentionally to give you a little bit of a head start on building those Cyclops batteries. So I definitely appreciate Subnautica for doing us a solid on that one. Okay, go ahead and get yourself repaired there and on in. Okay, guys, here it is, the Prawn Bay. Lots of scans in here. Be very thorough. You're going to spend a few minutes just in this one room alone. Now beware of all the sparky stuff. You know, that electricity, it's going to smart. But yeah, definitely get out your scanning tool here. Get all these fragment scans. Okay, we need 4 scans altogether to get that prawn suit crafted. And you should be able to get all of them here. Okay, now there's 2 ways out of the... 3, excuse me. There's 3 ways out of this room. One is the way we came. The thing that says locker room. The living quarters, which is that way. But I think that kind of dead ends at some point. So we kind of have to come back this way anyway. And there's a secret way out of here that goes down through the wreckage down here underwater. So I'm actually going to show you guys that, and then I'll be able to show you that door you could have blasted your way into from the other side if you had your propulsion cannon. Okay guys, check all these terminals again for anything that might be sticking up and out for free modules. Okay, there's another fragment. Nice. 3 of 4 already. Not much else going on that way, and I don't really think there's anything worthwhile just yet. We're getting there.
Originating on the other side of the hull breach in this room.
Okay, prawn suit fragment right there. And speaking of free modules, I see one sticking up right there. Storage module. So that'll go into the prawn suit. Check all these arms too. I don't know if there's any arm scans in here. I can't remember. But, you know, just in case I'm missing something, be real thorough and just point at everything you can possibly point your cursor at and make sure you're getting all the scans that are in here. Okay guys, same thing for this. If you've got the propulsion cannon, it's a little easier, but I like to just go ahead and jump and get up and over the garbage that way. And again, I got another scan there. I'm not sure what that is, prawn suit. Okay, so I guess that's all the prawn suit. They actually give you 5. I guess they wanted to make sure you found them all, which is awesome. Okay, and again, I don't think there's anything on this other side here. So yeah, we just kind of need to proceed on through into the living quarters here. So guys, I mentioned a couple of different cabins and door codes we're going to need. So I'm going to do like a lefty-loosey thing. And remember that poster I told you all about an hour ago? Oh, that is a scan, by the way, vending machine. The tables, I've already got all these scans, but again, go around, get all these scans, folks. Chairs, tables, trash can, vending machine, just everything. If it lights up, get the scan, get it done. So yeah, anyway, getting back to my favorite poster, the best poster of the game, right here. Best poster in the entire game. That is going right in the Cyclops. And trust me, there is no better place to put that poster.
Integrating new PDA data.
Alright, so there's today's menu. It looks like they had chicken and pork, so I guess the future never did go vegan, which is a real shame. Yeah, so I just watched like a real upsetting documentary about like beef and dairy and cheese and milk and apparently like we're out of land. There's no more land for the cattle. So now they're like tearing down the Amazon to make more land for the cattle. That absolutely broke my heart. I was like, well, I guess I'm never eating steak again. Or cheese or anything that comes from cows. Oh, wall shelf. I forgot about that scan. Oh, if you want to recharge on the fire extinguisher, go ahead and do that now. That should be a full one. Sweet. Okay. Yep, we might need that moving forward, so I always keep those fire extinguishers nice and full. Okay, so right across the room, again, I'm going to stay lefty-loosey for right now. I'll come back around to the right when I get to the end. Here's another hallway. This is why I stay either pick a direction, go left or go right. Because it'll get real confusing in here real quick. You'll be in here for days trying to figure out if you've seen all the rooms or not. Now guys, these carryalls, I don't recommend using them. Just leave them in here. You can either pick it up or you can open the storage. Make sure they're empty and make sure there's no loot in there. I'm not seeing anything else there. Yeah, again, check all these lockers. Make sure you're not missing anything that's, like, hidden real well. Empty, good to go. Ugh. And again, I think that's the sister. I think she's the main character in the follow-up game, the Sub-Zero. Or whatever the heck that's called. I can't remember if that's the right name or not. Okay, so we got ourselves another poster. Booyah. Okay, guys, I was talking about door codes. Here it is, cabin. So the cabin is 1869. I'm going to go ahead and punch that in and break in here. Okay, go ahead and open that sucker up. Wait a minute, did I do this room? Uh-oh. Okay, that was our way in. Yep, okay. Yeah, I already got turned around. So yeah, Lefty, Lucy. I think I might have just skipped a room here by accident. I should have gone over here first. Okay, that door does not open, so don't hassle with it. Okay, here it is, guys. Captain's quarters. I knew I was doing something out of order there. I'm glad I went back and looked. So the captain's quarters. 2679. There it is. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Now there's fun stuff in here. Decorations, scans. Take your time in here. Go ahead and get that terminal. That's a big one. Neptune escape rocket. That's a big scan, guys. A big blueprint right there. Okay, go ahead and pick up your mini Aurora there. That is a decoration I love having in my base build. So much fun. There's a PDA in here to boot. And if you don't already have like the furniture scans, feel free to get whatever you can get. Okay, Lefty Lucy. Okay, I already broke into this door, so yep, pop on in. Again, guys, with the decorations, loving it. Ooh, medkit, don't mind if I do. Wait, what did I just pick up? Ah, nuts. I will make sure it's empty, though. Or not. Okay, they're usually all empty. I don't think I've ever really found anything in one. So yeah, make sure you're getting all your scans here. PDA. Absolutely.
PDA data.
There's a baseball cap. Don't mind if I do. Whoever used to own that won't be needing it anymore. Okay, and I think that's pretty much it from the cabin here. So stay on Lefty Lucy here. It's easy to get stuck on the furniture. More posters. Oh yeah. I really like that detail in this video game. It's in the details for me in a lot of video games. If there's like little extra fun stuff like that, it really just... it's icing on the cake to an already awesome game. Okay, so I'm still doing my Lefty Lucy, guys. And I'm pretty sure that's empty. Got a battery. I think there's another poster in here. This kind of feels like you're doing a freighter raid. Or a frigate raid, I don't know which it is now, in No Man's Sky. Kind of sort of gives you that feeling. You're in here to loot, you know. Very, very similar feel. Okay, and back to our need for fire extinguishers. And I think this is our last quarters type room. Empty, empty. Don't mind if I do on them batteries. I will take these batteries all day long. Ooh, a PDA. Nice little spot for a PDA. Okay, I don't see any posters. Boo. Alright guys, Lefty Lucy, this is going to be the last room. It's like a little mini pantry. It was across from the kitchen. Or whatever, the canteen. But, I don't really remember there being much in here other than food and water. Yeah, you see like another bottled water up there, one there. Yeah, not much going on in here. Alright, so that's it. So now we're back in the Prawn Bay. And guys, the game kind of gave you a little clue here that there was something on the other side of the wall. So what we need to do to access is get down here in the water. And it's real tight and real tricky, and beware, you know, this electricity, it'll really take it out of your health. But if you can get down in here, you'll see an opening. And you can swim right through this opening. Whoops. It's a little bit of a maze sometimes, but you can swim right through this opening, and then it'll kind of dead end into this open hallway left and right. Go left, and you're going to follow this tubing. Just follow the tubing. Keep swimming. Be like Dory. Just keep swimming. And once you come to a dead end here, look up. You're going to see a nice big opening. And you're going to see, you know, debris and stuff. But, yeah, this kind of brings you into the next area. And guys, again, careful. This stuff will really knock it out of your health. So, we're going to continue on down, I think. But I'm going to take a quick loop around and make sure I'm not missing any scans or any loot. Ouch. Speaking of that thing taking it out of your health. And it's kind of like right in the middle, so you take a risk either way getting down in there. But yeah, you just kind of got to go for it. And then there is a terminal here to interact with. Go ahead and do that. Black box data. It would be nice if there were power cells or something in these. I always kind of wished. It's just not the way it is. Okay, I didn't think that was interactable, but I wanted to double check. Alright guys, moving on. Once again, we got to break in. Whoop, not that way. More to come here. More scans. More blueprint stuff. I think we're getting close to the robotics room. And wow, my inventory is getting real tight here, so I might have to start dumping probably titanium. Okay, so yeah, this is the robotics room. Now there's two ways in here. This is one, but they have the same door code. And if you go around all the electricity here carefully, you can squeeze past and find the other door back behind this debris over here. And again, it's the same door code. It goes into the same room. And going up here is like the way forward, but we're not going to do that just yet. We need to loot this room first. Whoops. And again, guys, the robotics lab or whatever, I think they just call it the lab online if you look it up on AI or whatever, but it's 6483. So go ahead and 6. And it's kind of tough when you're in the water because it bobs up and down. So it's real easy to make mistakes here. Doggone it. Six. 4. I feel like I have to hold my breath, and it's not helping. 8. Squeak. Come on, 3. Come on, 3. All right. Ooh, more batteries. Absolutely. Okay, don't forget your terminal.
Corruption was detected on your PDA. Your technology blueprints have been updated.
Alright, sweet deal. I'm not sure what's in these crates. Okay, looks like just water. Go ahead and get that loose PDA though.
Integrating new PDA.
Looks like more furniture scans. And since we're already inside the room, we can just open that door now. We don't need to worry about the door code anymore. But yeah, there's some more decoration type stuff you can put down in your bases if you'd like. But as far as like important stuff, I think that's pretty much it. The main thing was that terminal and the PDA there. So yeah, let's go ahead and get on out of here. And we'll proceed on through to the other side. Break on through to the other side. I wonder how many of y'all were thinking it. Alright, get all the fire out. So now, guys, if you had your propulsion cannon, you'd be able to just get through the door here, and, you know, you're back out into that little area where your sea moth is parked. Easy peasy. It's just a quick little shortcut way out. Unfortunately, I haven't quite found a way to weasel my way out of here without the propulsion cannon. I've tried jumping. It just doesn't ever seem to find a sweet spot to quite make it out. So, you know, sadly, if you didn't bring the propulsion cannon, you just got to go back out the way we came, and which is fine. Sometimes when I'm doubling back through, you know, I find something I missed, a scan, you know, a decoration, a poster, something like that. So I've never minded just going back out. Not only that, it kept my inventory free for stuff. You know, I probably even missed a couple of things, just not being super thorough. So, again, guys, for me, it's all about the inventory. But, you know, if you don't care about all that, having the propulsion cannon, again, I'm not going to lie, that was nice to have. So that's pretty much it, guys, for the Aurora raid here. We've come around full circle. I'll just go ahead and get back on out of here the way we came. Again, I'll just kind of take a second look, so to speak, on the way out. Squeak! Squeakers squeaking. Alright, moving on through. This is that piping hallway, I guess I'll call it, or dub it. And of course the way out is easy to find. Just look for the dangerous electricity, and that should get you out of here pretty quickly. Okay, good to go. Yeah, I don't think there's any arm scans in here. I don't know why I was thinking maybe there was. But I don't see anything lighting up, so yeah, we out. I don't believe there's anything up there. Kind of an odd place for something like that, though. I'm gonna go double check that. Anytime I see something like that in a video game, my spidey senses start tingling. Okay, I'm not getting a prompt to climb the ladder. Okay, so probably nothing. Oh, Sunny, the prawn suit. Yeah, thanks for asking. This is our next vehicle. So, let's see if I can find the building blueprints here for all the vehicle stuff. Okay, jetpack upgrade. This is all upgrades. There we go, prawn suit. So yeah, it's a little pricey on materials, not gonna lie, but it's worth every penny. So it's kind of like the sea moth in a sense. You have a small vehicle, it's mobile, but it's more than that. It's got legs and it's got arms, so you can do things in the environment, like the drill arm. You can slap that drill arm onto the prawn suit and harvest those really big resource nodes. That's the main thing I use the prawn suit for right there is farming. But, you know, it swims. It has upgrades to where you can really get some good swimming out of it and get a lot of altitude or elevation. It doesn't drive the same way as the sea moth. In other words, it doesn't quite swim. It's a ground-based vehicle. But it does have jets to get you up into the water. So yeah, just all in all, a really fun thing. There's a lot of different arm attachments you can put on it. That's definitely going to be something I'll be focusing on here real soon, is getting that prawn suit built. And a lot of wreckages that we still haven't come across yet, like in the Blue Balls biome and the Floating Islands biome. A lot of prawn suit arm scans. And I think I already found like one grappling, so I need one more to get the grappling arm, which I really don't use anymore. I focus more on the upgrade for the thruster, or the jetpack or whatever, so you can swim up into the water. What am I stuck on? There we go. Okay, yep, been here, done that, got the t-shirts. I think I was pretty thorough on the raid, though. Normally my inventory's full, so that kind of has me wondering, like, what did I miss? I hope nothing too fun. In fact, I think I pulled more than one hat out of here, so yeah, I probably missed a couple of fun things, but... oh, if you guys are watching the video, at least the recorded version, and you did find something that I missed, please leave a comment with a timestamp so other folks can find it too. Okay guys, again, just some fancy footwork to jump on out of here and get back out into the main area. I want to look at that first room one more time, make sure I didn't miss a poster. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Now I blew past all those crates that were just out here in the open. And I did that because, you know, again, I didn't want my inventory to fill up with things like medkits and batteries. I wanted to pull the fun stuff out, made sure I prioritized that. But I can't get back over there from here because remember, we had to kind of like jump down to this from the upper deck. So just jump down into the water. And if you want anything, you have to kind of get back over to that area from that way. So this is it, guys. This is that door. This is the one I was on the other side of when I said I couldn't find a way to jump out. This is where you would need that propulsion cannon to kind of clear that doorway. Ouch. Okay, make sure I'm not missing any crates, because if I can get more batteries, that would definitely save me time crafting and farming for batteries later on. I usually craft like a whole locker full of nothing but power cells for the sub. Not even kidding. Of course, I'm not going to do that on a live stream, but I might break off, you know, after I cut stream. And, you know, fill up a locker with nothing but power cells. Ooh, battery. Sweet. Ouch! Good thing they don't take a ton of health. And a good thing they give you free medkits along the way. Because I'm sure they anticipated us getting chomped on the entire way up to the entrance. I already opened that one. Good to go. Alright guys, I'm just going to take one more quick look around and then get back into our Cyclops. And I think I'm going to go ahead and call this one done, guys. It's definitely a ton of fun coming over here, though. You know, frequent saves. I kept forgetting to talk about that. You know, if you loot a room, save the game. If you seal up the radiation leaking room, save the game. Just, you know, periodically save that game. That way, if you get stuck underwater and you die, you know, you can reload the save, no problems. You don't have to go back through and do it all over again, so to speak. It'll save you a ton of time. So especially if it's, you know, an earlier playthrough like your first, definitely try to remember frequent saves.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
So folks, that's... Uh-oh, why is my screen locked up? It looks like my OBS is locked up. So that's where it froze. My image is forever stuck there. I don't know if maybe I can unplug the camera and plug it back in. I don't know if that works. I'm going to try it. Me versus technology, it's a great time. Nope, still stuck. That picture looks like it should be the poster child for, like, something, I don't know. Happy Days. Yep, it's still stuck there. Okay, so I cannot talk to you in person. Super sad. But what I can do is say thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely appreciate your viewership today. If you enjoyed it, please take a moment to like, share, subscribe, and comment. That is always appreciated. And as always, until the next time, best of luck and happy hunting. And guys, on that note, happy hunting. This is Leviathan territory, remember? So get back to the shallows fast. Go directly there. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Alright, guys. Peace out, y'all. Thanks again for watching.